This is Luthi, and you're listening 88.3 WMTS Murfreesboro.
You look so empty, your energy's like ecstasy. And I watch you in the night go up in smoke. You don't know me, but you pull your stool right next to me. I didn't know I played and lost this game before. Now get what you mean. You'll start a friendly, you turn on me eventually. So turn my back and turn you down for. You make me happy, put me higher than I'll ever be.
Hello, 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 hello. Sorry, I'm making sure it's picking up my voice. Yes, it is. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to LUVOL on Air. I'm your host, James, and today I am joined by my very special guest.
Hi, my name's Chris Jordan.
Hello, Chris. Now, you've already said
Hi.
your name. Why don't you tell us a little bit more about yourself? Where you're from, what you play, genre, all that jazz.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, so I grew up just outside of Kingston, New York. If you don't know, that's like kind of upstate New York, you know, a couple hours away from the city. And I make like, you know, for lack of a better term, I make rock music, but it's kind of a mix of like alternative, punk, country, Americana, whatever you want to call it. So yeah, I kind of do a lot of things, but I really just try to, you know, have my own style and make everything kind of blend seamlessly together as much as I can.
Okay, awesome. So how'd you get your start doing stuff like that? Like, how'd you start making music?
Oh God, yeah. Well, I started, you know, like one of my first big influences was like Brad Paisley when I was a kid. You know, seeing him play guitar, and I was like, I can do that. So, yeah, I started playing guitar when I was about 8 years old. Started like, you know, writing songs around the same time with like air quotes around it. Started writing good songs like later in my teens, but you know how that goes. And yeah, you know, I did like a couple music schools. I had like, you know, little bands all throughout like middle school and high school. And now I'm just outside Music City, you know?
Yeah. Murfreesboro, Tennessee, MTSU. Sorry to dox you.
Yeah.
But, so...
Yeah, my social security number is...
No, go ahead. By all
Yeah.
means, please say.
Okay, yeah.
So, you mentioned Brad Paisley, right?
Yeah.
Who were some of your other, like, big musical inspirations?
Oh, totally, yeah. So, like, I grew up on, like, you know, my parents were, like, into, like, a lot of country and classic rock growing up. So, like, I loved, like, Tom Petty and Bruce Springsteen. I also love, like, Bon Jovi's. Yeah, it's kind of a guilty pleasure of mine. But honestly, like, check out Bon Jovi's back catalog because it's way better than most people think. And then also, like, later into my teens, I really got into, like, punk. Like, I love bands like The Replacements and, you know, more pop punk, but like Blink-182 and NoFX, Descendants, all that. So, and like a lot of the stuff I listen to now is kind of like, you know, you can call it cowpunk. It's like that cross between like, you know, country and punk. So you got
I don't
like,
think I've ever heard that term before. Cowpunk, did you say?
yeah. Do you know like Uncle Tupelo?
I know of him.
Yeah. Do you know Wilco with Jeff Tweedy?
No.
Okay, well, it was like his band before that, but they kind of like started like the whole like alt country thing in the 90s, and then there were other bands like old 97s and Drive By Truckers, and like one of my all-time favorites is Jason Isbell, like just one of the most amazing songwriters you'll ever hear.
Awesome. I'll have to check them out. We have I'll post a playlist on my Instagram when we're done, but we have a couple songs by people you mentioned coming up, including Jason Isbell. But moving on, talk about your music.
Totally. Yeah.
You got 2 singles released currently, 3 if you count a collab.
Yeah.
We'll start with your first single, Cherry Cigarettes, which released this August. So, what was sort of like the inspiration behind it, and what's it about?
Yeah, so Cherry Cigarettes, I wrote that just like right after like was really kind of my first like big breakup. And it was like, you know, it was kind of written like from the experience of like, you know, having like someone else like kind of show like, you know, romantic interest in you for like the first time after that, and you're just like don't feel ready for it. You're like, you're like scared to kind of like get burned again by the flames of, you know, another like kind of toxic relationship. So, yeah, you can even say the song's a little toxic, but you know, I own it.
Yeah. I mean, you could if anyone calls you out for it, you're playing a character. You know?
Yeah, it's true. It's true. The character is me. Chris Jordan playing Chris Jordan.
All right. And so what was you talked a little bit about the writing process, but what was like the writing process for it about?
Yeah, so I had like
Or what was
this,
it like rather?
I had this guitar riff for a while. It was really more of like a chord progression. You know, I was using like some pretty jazzy chords, and like I was just trying to figure out what to do with it for the longest time. And then like, you know, I had that experience, and like the melody just kind of came to me. And then I wrote like the pre-chorus chorus section a little later. This was all back when I was still in New York. This was like probably senior year of high school for me. So, and then, you know, I had the song for like a year, and then I finally had it recorded like, I want to say March of this year. So,
Yeah,
and
awesome.
I had my buddy Alex Wands produce that. I also did a collab with him on one of the songs we're going to talk about in a bit, but yeah, awesome producer. I also had Wesley Stewart do some production on that song too. So
You kind of read my mind. I was about to ask you, like, well, what was the recording process for it like?
yeah, so you know, we recorded it right here at MTSU. It was mostly in like Studio C and D, I want to say. You know, most of the guitars I actually recorded on my own at my place just through amp sims, and then we tracked vocals. I brought in a drummer. We had Dom Escondel. He plays for I want to say Camelot. I think they just changed their name actually. Sorry for being
No, it's all right.
so
No.
unprofessional. But yeah, awesome drummer. Love that guy.
No, I mean, it's my job to have everything written down in front of me.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, so it's
Yeah,
your
you're-
fault
you're-
that
you're-
I'm unprepared.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't know that you were going to bring up that guy.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just name checking everyone today.
Awesome. So your second single, "Stay on the Phone," was released this September. I will warn everyone, we're going to get kind of somber for a second. What was it about? What's the inspiration?
Yeah, so "Stay on the Phone" was definitely one of the, you know, more like solemn songs I've ever written. I wrote it for a friend that was experiencing like some depression and had some like suicidal tendencies. I wrote it after I got off the phone with them one night, and you know, I kind of had to like talk them down from some stuff, and that was like one of those songs where I just like wrote it in an hour and didn't really make any edits to it, which is like super uncommon for me. I'm always like tinkering with my songs. But I just felt like, you know, in order to like really convey what I felt and what they were kind of feeling at that time, I just wanted it to be as raw as possible. And that's why the production for it's like pretty bare bones too. It's just me with an acoustic guitar. I tracked that back in New York with it was actually my guidance counselor from elementary school. He's a cool guy, Tim Whalen. So yeah, I tracked that at like his home studio, and yeah, that's really all it is. It's I'd say just listen to the song if you want to hear the story of it, or don't, you know.
Anything else you want to speak to about the writing or recording process?
Nothing really else. I just want to say, like, for anyone out there that is like struggling with stuff like that, get the help you need. There's always people to talk to. There's so many people that care about you. If you ever, like, my Instagram's Chris Jordan Music. If you ever want to send me a DM and just you know, talk about some things, I'm always checking. So you know, if you don't think you have anyone else, like, I'll even be that you know, ear for you. You know,
Yeah,
I think we all need that.
The big resource everyone talks about is the suicide hotline, 988. But there's a bunch of other hotlines out there that are sometimes even tailored towards specific demographics of people. I wish I would. I've kind of put this part together on short notice, so
Yeah.
I don't have any of the specific numbers, but there's definitely excuse me, like an LGBTQ hotline, hotlines for African Americans,
Mhm.
Latinos, all that jazz. Anything out there, you know,
Yeah.
you're not alone. I'm just a voice on the radio, but you will find someone that you can talk to.
Yeah, a quick Google search, like, you'll find so much. You know, MTSU has
Mhm.
tons of resources to it. One other thing I did want to mention about the song is that all of the proceeds for it are going to the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. I feel like, you know, it was just something I wanted to do. I wanted to do, like, you know, the fact that I'm writing a song like that, I want to at least have some good come from it. You know, the song's definitely kind of a bummer, so I at least want, like, people to, you know, I wanted to help in some way. And like I said, 988, that's the suicide hotline number if you ever need it.
Can you say the name of the organization one more time?
American Foundation for Suicide Prevention,
Awesome.
AFSP.
So every time you listen
Yeah.
to that song, you're given just a little
Yeah.
bit, but it's still an amount of money.
Yeah. We do have to get it over 1,000 streams on Spotify. That
Yeah.
is the-
I think.
before it makes it.
I mean, Cherry Cigarettes is over 3,000 at this point.
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
Cherry Cigarettes has been doing really good.
Mhm. So I don't doubt that
Yeah.
Stay on the Phone will go over that too. But yeah, moving on.
Mhm.
Kind of a lighter subject now. You have a collaboration project that released the first of this month.
Yes, yeah.
Called Maybe Next Year with Alex Wands and Kyra Morgan.
Yeah, Kira
And
Morgan.
Oh, Kyra Morgan, my
Yeah.
bad.
Okay.
So, again, like, what's it about? What was the inspiration behind it?
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, I first met Alex and Kira. It was MTSU's NSAI chapter takeover day, which is actually, we got connected there
Yeah.
a couple weeks ago, but,
With our good pal Tim.
yeah, totally. And, what was I gonna say? Oh, yeah, so this was like a year before, but it was like, might have even been a year to the day, but, so we got paired up and we decided to do a co-write together. You know, it was kind of the end of the year, so we were just kind of like all in that headspace. You know, I think everyone kind of gets like those thoughts about like being at the end of the year. You're kind of thinking about like everything you wanted to do and
Mhm.
didn't get a chance to do.
Tell me about it.
And so we kind of wrote the song about that. And both Alex and Kira are such amazing writers and artists in their own right, so I want to give them a shout out. Both of them have amazing music out on Spotify and Apple and everything, so make sure you're checking out their stuff. And yeah, so as far as like the recording process goes, we recorded that here at MTSU. It was just in one day, actually. Like I said, that's another kind of bare bones production.
Do you remember which studio it was?
It was Studio A.
That's a good studio.
Yeah, so Alex and Kira sang it. I think I have like one layer of backing vocals if you listen closely to it. I came up with like that guitar riff on it, and Alex also played some piano on it too, some grand piano, so that's kind of the sound of it. You know, it's another kind of slow burn ballad type song, so if you're in that headspace, you know.
And all three of you wrote it together, right?
Yeah, we did.
It's like, how was that collaboration experience, like writing a song with two other people?
Yeah, it was like, I mean, you know, at my school, I was like pretty much like the only person that was like into music to this extent. So like, I never really had written with anyone else before. So I can honestly say that I think that might have been my first co-write. And, you know, maybe it was beginner's luck, but I think that one turned out pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
You know, yeah.
Awesome. And so overall, do you think you preferred writing songs and performing solo, or do you rather like the collaboration with people?
I'd say performing. I like having like a full band more,
Mhm.
you know, just because you have like that interaction on stage. I know, like, I guess like 66.6 of my percent of my songs right now are like these kind of like slower acoustic ones that could just be done solo, but like most of the songs I write are kind of more like upbeat rock and roll.
Mhm.
So you know, just having like that full band up there, you know, you really, the chemistry, there's just nothing that kind of beats it. As far as writing goes, I definitely think I prefer writing alone, just because like writing's like a very, I'd almost say it's like a meditative thing for me. And you know, like I get very vulnerable with my writing. So sometimes like when I have like these thoughts that like aren't fully fleshed out, and like, you know, I'm sitting in a circle with like other writers and stuff, it's like, oh, I want to share my deepest, darkest
Yeah, I
secrets
get
with
what
you.
you're saying,
At least
yeah.
not yet, you know. I will, but I want to make sure I word it correctly.
I mean, yeah, it's kind of easier to
Yeah.
put it out when it's
Yeah.
like on just like a blank piece of paper that no one else is gonna see.
Yeah,
and
and
then
you-
eventually morph that into the song. Yeah.
And like I said, like I tinker with my songs all the time. Like even the songs I have out, like I'll come up with like lines like, oh dang, why didn't I make that?
And so, do you have just like a songwriting process in general? Like when you sit down, do you go, okay, I'm gonna do this first, and then this, and then this, or is it just like a freeform thing? Do you think?
For me, it kind of, you know, something different comes every time. Sometimes it starts with like a guitar riff. Sometimes it starts with like a title or like, you know, a melody or something. So I can't really say I have like a formula for it. It's just like whatever feels right. Sometimes I have like these songs that, you know, I work on for like 2 years and they're still not done. And then I have, you know, this is more rare, but sometimes I'll have a song that like, you know, comes in and out and it get knocked out in like 30 minutes. And a lot of times those end up being like the best songs. Those are like kind of just like, you know, like when you have like that stream of
Yeah, just
consciousness where
very
you like,
spontaneous. Yeah.
like, and you get like, you know, the exact emotion you're feeling like in that moment, and you're able to capture it like in such a short amount of time. Like I feel like there's something kind of beautiful about that. It is a real gift when it happens. Like,
And would you say it's been like that for your entire songwriting career, or do you think, like, was there ever a time that you like had a structure to how you wrote songs, or has this always been like this?
no, I've been sucking like this for my whole time. Yeah, it's controlled chaos out here.
Oh yeah. So kind of moving on to live shows. What do you think makes you stand out as a live performer?
Yeah, for live, I don't know, I just really try to like connect with the audience. Like, you know, growing up, like I said, I'm a huge Bruce Springsteen geek. Like, he is like such a amazing live stage presence, and I just try to like harness that, and also like some other performers. And I try to do my own thing too. Like, you know, I'm kind of like you know, if you know me in person, I'm like kind of like an awkward guy, but like, you know, I feel like there's like the mix between like my awkwardness and also like the confidence you just have to have on stage. Like I think there's something to it, you know.
Yeah. It kind of besides like the NSAI song share, I don't think I've ever. Oh no, that's not true. I saw you at Dapper Al.
Yeah,
last year. But I've never seen you live in like a band setting yet.
Yeah.
But kind of just how you described it, it kind of reminds me of a band that our technical director Sterling showed me a couple of weeks ago called Flight of the Conchords, where they have like this awkward energy about them, but everything they do is like everything they say is like very confidently awkward, if that makes sense. Yeah. And it's like very genuine.
Yeah.
And even if it's not off the top of their head, like they might have a scripted moment on stage, but it feels like they just came up with it.
Yeah. Yeah, for me, we hardly ever plan banter when I'm like, we just like say like the stupidest stuff on stage, like, you know, hope it doesn't get us in trouble, but
Nah, why would there ever be trouble on a live stage?
Nah,
in a
totally not.
college area.
yeah, but like also like, you know, back home, I was just playing with like some buddies I knew from, it was really from my job, and we just like, you know, we had like so much chemistry together, and we, you know, when you came to see us live, we were just like having such a good time on stage, like genuinely, and I think everyone else felt that energy, and you know, it made them feel the same. Like when you come to a Chris Jordan show, I want you to just have like a really awesome time, like just have like the night of your life.
Yeah. Awesome. So now we're gonna do I have a giant list of questions right here.
All right,
And
I
I'm
have a giant list of answers. No, I don't.
And I'm just gonna say, you know, pick a number 1 through 25, and I'll pick just whatever number you say off this list. And we'll do that for a bit. So yeah, pick number 1 through 25.
4.
4? All right. Do you have any like pre-show rituals that you do?
Let me think. I do not like hot tea, but I will drink hot tea before a show just because it's good for your voice.
Yeah, whenever I record, I do that too. I'm not a big tea guy.
Yeah, now I'll be drinking like, oh, this is disgusting. Give me more.
But I mean, it does really help the throat.
It does,
You
yeah.
can feel the difference.
Yeah.
At least I can.
Like, especially with the Starbucks on campus, and going there again, like their citrus mint something tea. Shout out to Starbucks.
We're not sponsored by Starbucks,
Yeah.
but shout out to Starbucks.
Yeah, if we can get you sponsored by the Starbucks, you've made a thing.
That would be great.
Yeah.
Yeah, our little indie radio station is sponsored by Starbucks. I mean, we are quote unquote sponsored by Red Bull. Anyway, moving on. Pick number 1 through 25. That's up to number 4.
10.
10. All right. If you could learn any instrument, what could it be?
I love just seeing people shred on like a harmonica. That's like,
That's a good pick.
yeah. Or I don't know, something weird, like, you know, like, ever see someone like just like ripping it on like a clarinet or something? Like,
there are a lot of wind. I don't think harmonica's a reed instrument, but like there's a lot of woodwind instruments where I'm like, I wish I could play that. I don't have the lung capacity for that.
yeah, I used to play saxophone for a bit in high school.
How's that?
I'm kind of retired from that, but yeah.
Did you ever learn how to do circle breathing?
I don't even know what that is.
Oh yeah, so it's like you like breathe out through your mouth, and then occasionally you'll take a big breath in through your nose while you're still breathing out your mouth. So just one continuous out. I wish I could demonstrate it.
Yeah.
But I can't do it.
My
good.
technique with everything is like so awful. You know, I can tell when like if like, you know, quote unquote like real musicians will come to see me and just see what I'm doing live. It's like, oh God. What is this poor guy doing to himself?
Yeah, I think there is kind of going a little bit off track. I think there is like a genuine art, I guess, and like quote unquote playing sloppy. If
Yeah,
that makes sense.
that's definitely, there's a lot of that when I play
Yeah.
live. Like I don't even hold the pick to the guitar like the quote unquote correct way. Like, but you know, I've been playing it for like, you know, the better part of 11 years, I guess, and you know, we make it work.
Yeah. It's also just fun to play like
Yeah.
that a lot of the time.
And you know, I was like so inspired by all these like punk bands growing up, and like, you know, none of them like had like, you know, any like professional training or anything. And I think just kind of having your own thing and making it work, like, you know, obviously you want to sound musical and stuff, but I think there's, you know, if you're really just like going out there and making music however, whatever way you can, there's something awesome about that, something really authentic too.
Yeah. So we got a break coming up in about 5 minutes, but first we're gonna listen to a song called "Be Afraid" by Jason Isbell and the 400 Unit. Would you like to talk a little bit as to why you chose this song to be on the playlist?
Yeah, totally. So, Jason Isbell, like I was saying earlier, amazing songwriter, like really one of the best you'll ever hear. This song, like, it's kind of about, like, you can call him country roughly, I guess. And he lives here in Nashville. I know that. Not to dox you, Jason Isbell, if you're.
He lives at 1-323 Totally Real Street.
Yeah, exactly.
Get him. Don't get him.
But anyway, he kind of
You
wrote that song like about how like a lot of like mainstream country these days is just like scared to take on like heavier topics and stuff. And you know, in my writing, I try to always write like brutally honestly, like from the heart, and I think a lot of that I learned from his writing style. So this song's like almost kind of like his diss at like you know, just like Nashville kind of pop country that like doesn't really take a stance on much. It's just like
We're gonna be playing a diss track here on
Yeah.
WMTS right now, aren't we?
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're gonna go into a break, but first, here is "Be Afraid" by Jason Isbell and the 400 Unit.
We've been testing you, and you failed. This is my stroker bait. I'm just gonna reel you in. Oh! Come over, right turn.
Welcome back, everyone. That was Drive-By Truckers, their song When the Pen Hits the Shell. Why'd you add that song to the playlist, Chris?
Yes, that's another dark one. I wasn't expecting to talk about that, but that's Mike Cooley. He's one of the main songwriters in that band. He wrote that song basically from the perspective of after like a friend of yours dies from suicide. Like, just like kind of the thoughts going in your head, and like sometimes like those thoughts, like they can kind of be like, like angry or frustrated. You don't know why, like you don't know how to deal with it. So I guess that's kind of like that's kind of what the song's about.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry to pick another
No,
downer there,
I'm
but
trying to pick your brain.
yeah.
I guess would you say that kind of maybe not directly inspired Sound of Fun, would you say like you could connect to that?
You can definitely connect. Another layer of the song we just heard, When the Pen Hits the Shell, is like he kind of wrote it from the perspective of like really religious person, and like in Christianity, like he's not super Christian, I don't believe, but like in Christianity, like suicide is like really looked down upon, and it's like there's kind of sometimes a more like harsh outlook on it, which like I think it's kind of hard to like levy understand what a person could be going through at that time.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's definitely a harder one to break down, but a great song. If check it out if you can, really dissect those lyrics, because there's a lot of like really thought-provoking stuff in there.
Yeah. So turn it to a bit more upbeat now.
Yeah.
Some more.
Please do.
as I titled them on my notebook, miscellaneous questions.
Yeah.
If you could pick another number 1 through 25 that is not 4 or 10.
23.
23. Ooh, here's a good one. What would you say your favorite song to perform live is, and why?
Ooh, like one of my songs or a cover?
Any song. Oh, you know what? Let's do one of both.
Alright, my favorite song to perform live that's mine. Ooh, it'd have to be this, it would probably be the song that's going to be coming out soon. I don't have a release date for it yet, but it's called My Methadone. Just like a super fun, like, the lyrics are super kind of depressing and unhinged, or whatever you want to call it, but the music's just like kind of like this fun, like Rolling Stonesy, Skinnerdy, like kind of rock and roll jam.
Was it the one that you played the song share at NSAI? Or am I thinking of something else?
No.
Okay.
Yeah. Now is another song, Heathen's Sake, but I love that song too. That's
Will that
another.
one also be getting a release sometime in the near future?
Sometime. It's not recorded yet, but if any producers are out there listening, hit me up.
How was what's it called? My Metrodome?
My Methadone.
Methadone. Has that been recorded at all?
Yeah. I just recorded that song like a week and a half ago.
Okay, so it's fresh.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I wrote the song like probably sometime probably about this time last year, but we just finally got it recorded. Another song too called Valentine's Day Parade. We finished both of those in the same session, so I'm super excited to hopefully unveiling those to the world pretty soon.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Let's go another number 1 through 25. Can't do, let's see, 4, 10, or 23.
Alright, let's try 15.
15. Ooh, okay. What is your dream venue to play at?
My dream venue to play at?
Student Union.
Yes. Outside like a 7-Eleven at like 3 in the morning.
Honest, I mean, have you seen the the Denny's Grand Slam.
Yeah, what the
Dude,
is up,
yeah.
Denny's?
That's dream venue, honestly.
Yeah, honestly, that is my answer. I'm locking that in.
Really?
Actually, once
that does sound really fun.
me and one of my buddies, Connor Mahoney from the band Rose Gold back in New York, we once busked outside like a Taco Bell at like 3 a.m. This was in like Connecticut. We were.
That would. Now that you bring it up, I'm considering doing that now.
It is so fun.
Maybe I should call it for my buddies. Just like, hey, we're going to Taco Bell to eat. No, we're gonna play rock music.
Yeah. Do you want to go there like right after? Like,
dude, I don't need to do the show anymore. Let's just go there
yeah,
now.
yeah. Let's. Yeah, just gonna be dead air until then. Yeah, if you want to hear us, come to Taco Bell.
You'll be hearing Something for the Pain by Bon Jovi really, really quietly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see another number.
All right. 22.
22. All right. How do you prepare for a recording session?
I probably should more. That's my answer. No, I just like really, like most of the songs I play live pretty frequently, so they're like under my fingers.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get in front of, you get the mic on you and you forget everything you've ever learned ever.
Yeah,
So
it's the classic trope of like the second there's an audience, you're like, I forgot how to play everything I know.
yeah, so I'm like a producer's worst nightmare. I want to take like 60 takes of something.
Do you do like the similar tea routine that you do when you
Yeah,
play live?
definitely. Like, just anything that's like gonna help my voice not sound like a dying crow,
Kind of related. Do you have like any general vocal care things that you do regularly? Warm ups, or you said tea already.
Yeah, I just like, I think one thing that really helps is like, you want to stay hydrated. I also try to go for runs pretty frequently to like kind of just keep up my stamina. I once had like a vocal coach literally tell me just like take a lap around the building, come back and like sing a song, and I did, and I sounded better. Like it's weird, like when you're like, because you're more conservative with your breath, I guess. Like,
and you get more adrenaline flowing through you too.
Yeah, totally. And I caffeinate before a show, which there's like mixed opinions on that. I always have a Red Bull. I know we're sponsored by that right now, so you are. I'm not.
Nah,
Red Bull.
We don't have to shout them out.
Yeah.
I think they just give it to us when we ask. 1 through 25.
21. We're just keep going down the line.
Down.
Yeah.
I think the last person I had on for an interview, Annika, was just like counting up and down.
Yeah.
Like the entire time.
Well, I don't know how to count, so you won't have that problem.
Okay.
Yeah.
Another reason you're the producer's worst nightmare, you don't know what a count in is.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 11.
What would you say is the most rewarding part of being a musician to you?
Honestly, like, when I write a song and I just like, I don't really, like, obviously everyone cares about success a little bit, but if just like one person like comes up to me and like tells me like, hey, I like kind of connected with that song, like that's like really the best part. Like, and I think that's like kind of the same for like all creative fields. Like, obviously mine's music, so I know the most about that, but like, just feeling like you're, you have the ability to talk about something and it kind of shines a light on. It's something that like everyone's going through, but it's like not the obvious thing to talk about. And when you kind of, I think as creatives, when we're able to like put into words like whatever that emotion is, like, there's something really rewarding about that.
Yeah. I don't have anything more to add. That was great.
Yeah.
Another 1 through 25.
19. I think we skipped 20, but
20,
like I said, I don't know how to count. So.
How do you know when a song's finished?
I don't. It's just as simple as that.
I was about to tack on, do you know when a song's finished? I guess we know
Yeah.
that now.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm like always like, because also like I feel like the song kind of becomes a different animal live. Like I have one song called under my influence, and like it started out as just like, you know, I was expecting it to just be like a little acoustic thing, and then when I started playing it with my band up in New York, we like extended the solo out like 9 minutes, started adding like all these guitar harmonies and stuff, and like I'm gonna record that at some point, probably not all that's gonna make the recording, but I would love to like just release like a live recording of it though.
You gotta have like your Pink Floyd Echoes. It's just like
Yeah.
a 23-minute song.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, let's do another 1 through 25.
Let's do we do 5 yet?
No, we did not.
All right.
This is a nice and simple one. Why MTSU?
Why MTSU? Because, you know, like I said, Nashville's 20, not 20, but like 40-ish, you know. I drive fast. I'm a New York driver, so it's 20 for me. But
3 hours of I-24 traffic.
Yeah. Yeah, but, you know, having Nashville so close. Also, they just have, like, a really great program, like...
And you're songwriting major.
I'm a songwriting major, correct, yeah. You know, I think I'm an audio minor. Audio production's, like, definitely, like, the big thing around here, so, like... But, you know, all of the songwriting teachers are, like, really awesome. Like, I have, like, Shelly Piken right now. She's amazing. Yeah, just like the whole staff, they know their stuff so well. They have so much success in the industry I'm trying to go into, and just like, you know, hearing what they have to say is like, you know, it makes me feel good to like know that there's like people out there like here that like really care about like what their students are doing, and you know, they have the credentials to back it up too. Yeah.
It's a lot of time, like when you're talking to professors, it's kind of, at least in my experience, sometimes it's like you can just kind of tell when they don't really care all that much.
Yeah.
But when you find like the couple that do, that's when it's like,
Yeah. No, you gotta hold on to those connections, because like they're just really great to have.
Yeah.
And also, like, as far as the location for MTSU, like, I grew up in upstate New York. I wasn't really near the city at all. Like, you know, it was still a good bit of driving to get there, so it wasn't super accessible for me. But like, New York City would have been the obvious choice. But I just feel like Nashville right now really is like the music capital of the world. Like, more so than LA or New York. You know, no slander to those cities, but I think Nashville's really got something special going on right now for all genres too. Like, people hear Nashville and just associate it with country, which is like kind of the vein I'm in, you know, like country rock, Americana, whatever you want to call it. But there's so much cool stuff going on, you know, and it's rock, hip hop, pop, everything.
If
R&B.
you look for even like 5 minutes, less than, you could look up like modern Nashville hip hop acts, and you'll get like a giant list.
Yeah.
There's a lot outside of country here, especially on MTSU. Like, you would think, and Belmont too. I looked into Belmont.
Yeah.
And, like, there's a big rock scene down there. There's a big rock scene here. Punk is really big in Nashville right now, and in Murfreesboro.
Yeah.
And like electronic music. Like, there's.
Oh yeah, that was one thing. Is I started going to like the Tennessee Tunnel Authority raves last year.
I had no idea there were raves.
Oh, they're so fun. Yeah.
I thought that was.
You literally go into like a tunnel, like under like this. It's like under like the interstate, and then there's like a skate park right here nearby. You park there. You walk under this tunnel. There's like a tarp over it, and then you just go listen to like dubstep all night.
How could you ignore such great DJs like DJ Pete? Or that was a big one. I don't remember the other ones, but I saw a poster for one that was called like the Gender Death Rave, and I was like, that is such a good name.
Yeah, for real. And it's like, I'm not even like, you know, I don't know EDM really at all, but it's just like fun to, you know, I have hell respect for the producers that do it, and just like hearing that stuff live, like I can still really get into it. So
yeah, it's another 1 through 25.
Let's do 6.
All right. What is favorite song you've written?
Favorite song I've written.
And you cannot say they're all my children. I love them equally. That's a cop-out.
I hate them all. Probably would be this one song, "Hang." That's actually another kind of personal one. I wrote about my mother's relationship with her father. They were estranged for a long time, and he was an addict, so I actually wrote it from my grandfather's perspective and kind of what I feel like he might have been going through at that time. So it was, really, like having that thought experiment for a song, like, and I think that is some of my best writing. As far as like a more upbeat one would go, I don't know, my favorite right now is probably that song we were just talking about, Heathen's Sake. I played it at one of the NSAI song.
Songcare.
Yeah. Oh my god, my brain isn't braining, but yeah.
Do you
it's
have any idea when the first song you were talking about will come out?
my methadone, that'll come out probably December sometime. Still waiting on
Oh,
the.
that was the one that you recorded last week, then, or 2 weeks ago.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So my methadone's probably gonna see its release sometime in December. So once I have a date out, I'll be posting it on my Instagram at Chris Jordan Music if you wanna see when that's coming out.
Yeah, I'll keep a lookout for it.
Totally.
Also, with being at the station, part of being a WMTS DJ is every show you do, our policy says you have to do 3 new songs that have been released in the past 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of local acts, but the thing with the local acts is they usually focus. A lot of times they focus more on playing live. There's not a lot of stuff like coming out. So the good thing about doing interviews like this is now I know more people who are going to release things. I can say, this guy's going to release a thing in like a month. Now
Yeah.
that show a month from now I can play his thing.
Oh, totally, yeah.
So
Yeah, if you need to know anything about like, awesome local artists that are doing stuff, I'm always like, I try to stay super involved with like the
Mhm.
local music scene because it's legitimately awesome. It's
Oh, yeah.
so much fun to be a part of, whether it's playing shows or going to shows, like,
Yeah, I think we have time for 1 or 2 more questions before we got to do a little outro. Let's do another 1 through 25.
Let's do 2.
2, all right. What is your favorite part of the songwriting process?
My favorite part of the songwriting process, it's just like when I like, really get in the groove and I'm like coming up with like lyrics, like, ooh, that's a good one. Like,
The flow
yeah.
state.
What?
The flow state.
Yeah, totally. And so it's not all the time when that happens. So when it does, it's like, it's a real like adrenaline rush.
Mhm.
Like, so yeah, I would say that.
Yeah.
The flow state, we're calling it now. And start using that.
Let's do another 1 through 25. Just pretty quick.
12.
12. All right, let's see. Most challenging part of being a musician.
Most challenging part of being a musician, finding time to sleep
Oh,
and eat.
especially when you're in the flow state.
Oh, yeah.
If I'm writing it, I usually write like at night.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's like the time where like my brain is on the most
Yeah.
for some reason.
Yeah, I'm a total
And so
night
it's-
owl, so yeah.
Yeah, it's tough to be like, I have to go to bed, but this song is getting really, really good.
Yeah. No, when something like that happens, like you can't. I'll be tired the next day. I don't
Mhm.
care. I'm finishing that song if I'm like really in the zone.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh yeah, we got time for like 1 more. Let's do another 1 through 25.
11.
11. Ooh, I really like this question. Who would make up your dream backing band? And this can be any musician, dead or alive.
My dream backing band. I was talking about like a funny answer for this yesterday.
No, go ahead, do it. Say
Yeah.
it. You
so
can give
this
as many
wouldn't this wouldn't even be a band I'd want to be in, just because I'd want to get Kid Rock, Tom Morello,
Oh.
Gene Simmons, and Dave Grohl in a band. Just picture that amount of chaos.
Oh, okay. Kid Rock, Tom Morello, Gene Simmons, Dave Grohl.
Yeah.
Oh,
Imagine
That would be-
imagine those four in a room
That
together.
would be cacophonous, to say the least, in more ways than one.
Yeah, but as far as like a real one goes, let's see. I'd want John Mayer on guitar.
That's a solid pick.
I'd probably still want Dave Grohl on drums.
Also,
'cause
very
he's-
solid pick.
Actually, no, I'll go with Travis Barker for drums because
Okay.
yeah,
That would be
Yeah.
interesting because John Mayer is obviously very blues, and
yeah,
Travis Barker's like full on punk.
yeah. For bass, maybe like Frankie Bayo from Anthrax.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I see what you're saying. Any backing guitarist?
Backing guitarist. Who's one of my favorite rhythm guitarists? Maybe get like Alan Collins from Skinner. I know he's passed, but yeah.
That's
Some great
also a very
riffs
good pick.
there.
Oh, we actually have a little bit more time. You know what? Yeah, so one more. I keep
more.
saying one more. One more 1 through 25.
Let's do one. One for
One.
one more.
If you could collab with any artist, dead or alive, who would it be and why?
God. if I
We
can-
already got the answer to that. It's Gene Simmons, Dave Grohl, Chris
Yes.
Rock, and who's the other one that you said?
Gene Simmons,
Gene
Kid
Simmons,
Rock,
Kid
Tom
Rock.
Morello.
Tom
and-
Morello, that
Oh,
was it.
okay, yeah. No, my real answer, probably Tom Petty. Just
My dad's gonna love you for saying that. He loves Tom
one
Petty.
of the greats of all time.
Actually, no. Last time I was interviewing someone, Annika, she said that she really liked Tom Petty, and he texted me in the middle of my show like, "Give that girl a high five."
Tom Petty texted you in the
Yeah,
middle
no,
of the
yeah.
show?
Tom Petty rose from the dead and texted me.
Yeah.
My
That's how you
dad's
know
Tom
this is an
Petty.
awesome show.
Yes,
Tom Petty's
I'll give you a
tuning
high
in.
five for my dad,
Yeah. Hell yeah.
and then I'll do the clap right now to make it sound like we just did a high five. We did do a high five. You just
Right.
couldn't hear on the microphones.
I'll
Yeah, 3,
harmonize with
2,
you.
1. Awesome. All right. We're coming to the end of the show now. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Thank you for being here, Chris. I got a
course. Thank you
couple
for having
more
me.
questions for you. That is the wrong page of my notebook. Bear with me. There we go.
This is live, folks.
Oh yeah, this is
Yeah.
live radio.
This is live
This is
as
live radio. Any upcoming live shows you want to promote?
Yes, so I'll be playing at Gentleman Jim's from 9 to 1, but I always go later. This Saturday, which is, let me pull up my handy dandy little calendar here, which is November 9th. Then I have a gig at the Heroes Den the following Saturday. That is November 16th, and I'll be playing there 7 to probably 9-ish, I want to say. And then December 6th, actually, I've been playing bass for this awesome artist out in Nashville, Grava. She does like kind of alternative pop, horror pop, whatever you want to call it. So I'll be playing a show with her December 6th. And I'm
Awesome.
playing bass for her, so
You got a,
yeah.
you got a pretty packed next
I do.
month or so.
I
yeah.
never sleep, and I'm always getting new gigs after that. I play at Gentleman Jim's pretty frequently. I have like a semi regular like 2-week rotating residency there. So chances are, if you go into Gentleman Jim's on a Saturday, you have like a 50% chance of seeing me. So
Awesome. Anything you want to say to the listeners?
hi, my name's Chris Jordan. Check out my, I'm on Spotify and Apple Music, wherever you stream music, Deezer if you're a weirdo. But yeah, I'm under there, just under my name, Chris Jordan. I got 2 songs out right now and 1 collab. More to come, so stay tuned. You can check out my Instagram at Chris Jordan Music and my TikTok at chrisjordan.music. And yeah.
Well, that took care of my next question. I was going to say, where can people find you?
You can
Any shout outs?
Yeah, just I already talked about Grava, amazing artist. I've been playing for her. She's awesome. Want to shout out Alex Wands and Kira Morgan, who I just collabed with for maybe next year. Check out that song if you haven't. want to shout out the show. Thank you, James, for having
Yeah, of
me.
course. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, and shout out my mom. I love you, Mom.
All right, awesome. And now it is the end of the show. Thank you for being here, Chris. Thank you for listening, everyone, as we fade out to the soothing sounds of Thanks for Coming by Yada Asmar. Good night, everyone.